Yeah, and with that, welcome to the third episode of Furrodivergent-Podcast. Me, Miku Cat, and Luge. Today, we're gonna mostly talk about Luge's life, and at the end, we're gonna talk about the second VRCon, which also is a big thing. So yeah, you can go ahead, Lou.
Okay, so I'll start with the classic topic, as you did, how I got into the furry fandom. So, never really heard of furries back then. Must have been about 6, 7 years ago now. Kind of heard about it through friends that send you a post. Look at this. Didn't really pay much attention to it until one day, like many people, stumbled across a video on YouTube of a US convention. I was like, oh, okay. This looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. Delved a bit deeper, looked into it a bit more, watched a few more videos. I was like, okay, definitely interested in it. Um, Researched it a bit into what it was actually all about, what it was called, and wondered, is this just a US thing? Because all the videos I saw were in the US. I didn't see them anywhere else, and my findings told me they were in the UK as well, along with all over the world. And I was like, oh, great. That's good. I like this. So I did what anybody did, looked up prices, got a bit of a shock.
Prices
Still
for
didn't
what?
put me off.
Fursuits or
For
cons?
fursuits, yeah, fursuits. Well, fursuits, cons, I just looked at the prices for everything involved with,
Yeah, it's
with
just probably kind
fursuit.
of expensive.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I still wanted to be part of it. Knew that a fursuit and the cons would be out of reach at the time. Um, yeah, lost my train of thought.
Yo, so like prices and stuff like that, because you looked up like prices for fursuits and stuff like that, which is pretty unusual if you just went into the fandom, because normally people are like, what the fuck are those people who are just like wearing expensive carpets and stuff like that, which is like I didn't look at that first. That was like still far away from me because it's just like joined in with like art community and stuff. So like first part came later. Um, just wild that you first saw like the con, especially US. US is like, I don't know, very dominant, say it like that, because they have a lot of cons, a lot of first shooters, and yeah, you don't hear as much from Europe people at first. But yeah, virtually and literally everywhere.
Yeah, it seems to be more prominent in the US, obviously, it's a bigger country, so that's gonna happen. But I
Yeah.
mean, in terms of looking at the prices first, I like to do things 100 miles per hour. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into this. I don't do things by halves. Or if I find something new, I go all out. And yeah, but realized I couldn't go all out to begin with.
Yeah, who can?
Which, yeah, which leads me to then taking a break from the fandom. So it's a good job I didn't go full 100 miles per hour. Person I was with at the time, my ex, I showed him. I was like, hey, this Instagram post, kind of interested in this. I like this. This is cool. He gave me a look and was like, okay.
So basically,
And then,
you saw the fandom, you kind of looked into those cons and stuff like that, and just kind of progressed into the year with like just watching videos about cons and furry people and thinking like, hey, I kind of want an expensive carpet too, in the colors of my eventually stoner. And yes, like somebody you said you had a relationship going on, and it's like there's a like huge time gap in between. What happened in that gap?
So when I showed my at the time ex that I was interested in this, he kind of did make fun of it. I say kinda, he really made fun of it. So by that point, I just stepped back completely. I stopped following all Instagram accounts, anything I was due with furry fandom, I just gave up on until we broke up about 2, 3 years after that. So in total, I had a 3 year break from the furry fandom. And much like when I first got into the fandom, I saw a video on YouTube of furries in a silly little game in virtual reality, VRChat. Same cycle again. Oh, this looks fun. This looks interesting. So went 200 miles per hour, bought a brand new PC, bought a VR headset, straight in, and then just sat in VR by myself because I wasn't very sociable. I didn't really know how to approach people and speak to people, like even in VR chat, let alone real life. But yeah, eventually met some people, met some good people, met you about a month after I got into VR chat. Yeah, it must have been about a month. Yeah. Well, yeah, anyway, met you, met a few other people. A few years later, you're still here. We've been going to cons. Now have a partial suit, or a partial, should I say. And yeah, here we are making this podcast. So that's pretty much a brief introduction on how I got into the fandom.
That is a really, really short story how you went into fandom. It's like, hey, I like this, and it's just like back then you both would be like, hey, I don't like this, and you're just like, can you really say it took a break if you just like just started watching it? It's more like you kind of abandoned it for a while, especially like you usually take a break like max 1 year, but it was like 3 years. So I'd rather say you abandoned it for a while, and it's just like the idea popped up in your head again as you saw like virtual fursuits, furry people just wander around virtual worlds. But it's like headsets too expensive. Well, what was like your motivation this time? Because back then it was like the first time you had that idea. Um, you were careful not doing any expensive mistakes. But with the headset, you just went all in. Why did that happen?
I think mainly because it was more affordable. Definitely more affordable than a fursuit.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought it would be a great way to boost my social skills, which it has been, to be fair. It's done the world of good.
Yes, yes, yes.
But
Many
yeah,
people go
something that's more in reach.
for example, VRChat because also they kind of want to fix their social skills. But the problem is like, people go in and think it's just gonna fix itself, but you just have to put a lot of effort into it. It's just like easier to actually find people to talk to, but not easier to talk to them actually. Even though it's like still behind a screen, nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it cuts out the first step of finding people. Like in real life, what's the classic one? Go to a bar to find friends, go to some sort of social setting to find friends. Whereas here, it's kind of all contained within a game. You could hop around worlds. I guess you do cut out that first step. But yeah, like you say, there's still effort needed to be put in. Okay, and that brings me to my next topic about my little life, school life. Now, school's a bit of a mixed bag for me because I did have somewhat of a good group of friends. sometimes people leave the group, sometimes they come in, or other people come in, should I say. But I always had like the small group stuck around. I was never really alone at school. Um, though my first year, I was bullied a little bit. I think a lot of people were. I feel like when people go into big school, they get a bit brave and they try and be dominant, almost like animals in the wild. But yeah, I managed to deal with that. Probably not in the most socially acceptable way, but yeah, physical actions fix my bullying. Say that.
Oh no.
So that yeah, that I had enough one day and yeah, fixed it. Let's say that. Um, the bigger problem with my school was it was an all boys school. There was no girls there, so you can imagine how that was. Just must have been hundreds and hundreds of boys there. I don't know the exact number, but a lot of boys, a lot of testosterone building up through puberty and stuff. And yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But I survived. Survived. Grades were average. My most favorite subject was definitely photography, which I think I've told you recently. Actually, I do have
Yes.
a GCSE in photography and media. And for the non-British people, the GCSE is like a high school qualification. Nothing major, but it looks good on your resume. Um, Never really found my thing when I was at school. The thing you enjoy. Apart from that, but nothing that I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm passionate about this. Though I was put on a gifted and talented list. You get put on that list if you're particularly good at a subject. Mine was design and technology, so like woodwork, metalwork, that kind of stuff. Which is reflected today in my career, which I'll touch on in a moment. Um, but the biggest thing I find with school is I feel like there's so much pressure put on you. It's probably a cliche thing to say. I've heard so many people say it, but we was always told if you don't get good grades, you won't get a job, you won't have this, you won't have nothing in life. Which I think is a harsh thing to say to young people who are still learning life, trying to get through school. Because pressure can break people. And putting them in an exam setting with that much pressure on their shoulders, with time limits, I think it can make people crack. And I've seen it make people crack. I mean, I don't have any suggestions of a better way to do it, but yeah, I just feel like it can be harsh sometimes. But
Yes.
the biggest thing, sorry, you were saying something.
Yes, especially also, which is impressive that you were like average because you had undiagnosed ADD, and it's like some people that have like undiagnosed ADD, especially in school, they just because they can't concentrate, can't really study for stuff like that. They're like really good usually in like one topic, especially at like end of high school, but everything else, especially on language like grammatics and stuff like that, just like just I don't know, it's just like people fail a lot in that. So like I said, it's kind of impressive that you were like still average and stuff like that. But yeah, that's also the thing with pressure. It's like people just telling you like, oh my god, you're gonna land on the street and try to get coins from strangers and stuff like that if you don't especially study for like really good grades and going to higher schools and stuff like that, which is like by the way not true. I'm like just before I was just like normal high school qualified and got into apprenticeship like I said in before in a as a car mechanic. But now I got like one higher grade because, for example, I was good in English. And it's like you can still build up from that. You don't have to instantly go to better schools in while still being in school. And even with like normal high school grades, like you get won't probably won't get like these really high end jobs at first. But what I've also noticed more and more is like employers, they don't always care about how good you were in school. They rather care about how you do your stuff, how efficient you do your stuff, and how fast you do your stuff. And it's I've also seen cases where, like especially like stuff like car mechanics, stuff like that, but just blue collar jobs, I guess. Just employers saying like, "Yo, I'd rather take someone who went out of school like with like high school degree because people with like higher schools and stuff like that sometimes are like, oh my god, why do I have this like do this dirty work? I was just like way more qualified, and why do I have to do this and stuff like that? Or just like they can't don't have like the motoric like skills for it to begin with. It's like you just see that, for example, and I'm just happy that I didn't do like more school and stuff like that because I've actually already earned money and I could afford this headset and could be in VR, I could be on cons and stuff like that. My money wasn't like cut really short by any schools you'd have to pay. We like had a mini job next to it. It all eats your time and you don't even get really money. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Anyway, spotlight
Yeah.
spotlight is onto you again.
Yeah, well, you mentioned my undiagnosed ADHD at the So, as you know, I was only diagnosed 2 months ago, 11 years after I left high school. And one of the things that put pressure on me was the, the classic ADHD symptom of not being able to focus. I could sit in a classroom for about 5 minutes before I just lost interest. Didn't care about what was happening up the front with the teacher. I'll be doing my own thing, like scribbling in my book, talking to the person next to me. So that's probably like that definitely was a setback for me. I think if I had the diagnosis back then and a bit of support, I may have done a bit better. But now that I look back at it, I'm not too worried because I've got myself in a good place with work. I've got a pretty decent job and I'm happy with it. It is a job I enjoy. A little bit of backstory on my working life. So, my first ever job was in a tire shop. I lasted a week, one whole week, before I got fired.
What?
Yeah, I
Damn.
was 16, and in the UK, at 16, you're only allowed to work a limited number of hours. It's like 37 hours, something like that. I was working 50 hours, which is more than the average in the UK for anyone over 18. And I said this to the boss. I'm like, I am working too many hours for my age. He said, no, no, you're not. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And then not long after that, he came up to me. We need to talk. Okay. He said, would you like to leave or would you like me to fire you? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, just make the choice. Can I have a reason? No, no, it's just not working out. So obviously I chose to leave. After that, I got a very short apprenticeship in a digital printing store. So making canvases, posters, flyers, all that kind of marketing stuff. The boss was an ass. He was the rudest person I've ever come across. After 2 weeks of being there, he used to leave me in the store alone, to deal with customers, the phones, to deal with the money. Uh, One day he even accused me of stealing money because of his inability to count. So he was screaming at me one day because he thought I'd stolen money. It was like £50 or something, something silly. But yeah, screaming at me. And eventually he went back to the safe, recounted it, walked out and said, "Oh no, it's there." No apology, nothing. I was like, I need to get out of here. So my cousin offered me a job. He was the manager of a plumbing store. So I went to work there as an assistant. I was just kind of helping out everywhere. I did really enjoy it. Now that was a wake-up call in a good sense, because the people there supported me. They helped me. They didn't get mad at me. They understood that I was fresh, that I was new to working. They helped me every step of the way. It was kind of like a little family. It was it was fun as well, and that's really important when you're working, to be having fun in your job. And from there, I was offered the opportunity to go as a mechanic for construction machinery. And I have no qualifications in that at all, not a single one. But they wanted to take me on based on my experience with cars. I've been working on cars since I was tiny. So I gave that a go, really enjoyed that. They liked me. That's when I found my thing that I mentioned earlier. That's when I realized that's what I'm good at. Because I was just picking the stuff up so quickly. Like, okay, I know how to fix that now. That's easy. So that was definitely my skill set. And from there, I was doing so well. After 2 years, I got promoted to supervisor. So I was given the chance to manage a very small team. There's only like three of us, but they let me manage it, uh, be in charge of all the equipment in terms of how it's repaired, money spent on it, that kind of stuff. Stayed there for 2 years and then decided that something wasn't right in my life and I needed to do something different. So I quit my job, packed my bag, and moved to the Netherlands. I'm sure you remember that. 3 months I spent over there, did a lot of thinking, just enjoyed myself, relaxed. Then got very bored very quickly, realized I wanted to go back to work. So went back to that last company I was at. I was there for about 2 weeks and then I got promoted to engineering manager, which means I was now manager of the workshops in all three of the depots they had across the south of England, all the staff in the workshops, all the vehicles, all the machines. I absolutely loved it. It was great. I learned people skills, I learned more mechanic skills, I learned money skills, just based on having to budget for every month, um, and how not to spend too much, which I'm really good at. And yeah, unfortunately, that company closed down in the later half of last year due to some financial difficulties. And I've started a new job beginning of this year, doing the same sort of thing, but not as a manager. Well, I'm just a mechanic again, but working on bigger machinery. Definitely enjoying this as well. I was pretty worried about essentially taking a step down from a management role back to just on the ground role, but I think it's good. Been a good thing for me. Definitely learning a lot more. And it's a great company to work for as well, I must say. All the people there are great, very supportive. And yeah, and that's where I am career-wise at the moment. And
Which is
brings me.
wait.
Hmm?
Hold on. Which is also impressive because like you said, like 2 months ago you'd actually knew surely you'd had like ADD or ADHD, and it's like before you managed to go from just basic mechanic to a like manager role where you just like managed like whole depots and workshops, which is also it's like it shows also even if you have ADD or ADHD, also undiagnosed or diagnosed, you can still achieve pretty good things. Like you went up there, you were an actual manager, which is like impressive. And yeah, that's just one like just did that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about that too much. But now that I think of it, if I had the support for ADHD back then, like I do now, I would have been a machine. I think I would have been unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
yeah, the ADHD medication has definitely made a difference. It's helping my career definitely, as well as every other aspect of my life. Definitely. So if you're ever unsure, go get checked.
Yes, definitely. It's like in like this podcast, for example, you can hear like a lot of symptoms and how they affect lives. So if you just listen to this and just be like, hey, I had these many situations too, maybe a little bit different, but still roughly the same shape, then you could maybe try to research it and search for more symptoms and stuff like that. And hey, maybe get diagnosed eventually, which is good because one big factor is like to finally be able to give it a name. Like so many people are like just struggling in life and be thinking like, yo, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I'm just lazy or something like that, or why can't I just concentrate? And they just get into depressions and stuff like that because they think it's 100% their fault. They just had to try more to concentrate and be more motivated. But yeah, first like giving it a name can help huge time, and also the medication. It's a two-sided sword. For some people, it made it worse. They got addicted, and some parts of it, like some side effects, did some bad thing. I wouldn't say too bad things. It's like moderate bad things because these are really well monitored. So, but for like the other side of the sword, it's like you become like Lou here said, unstoppable. It's like you can actually focus and stuff like that. If you actually get a hyper focus with medication, then you're just locked in 100%, man. It's like medication is like something that um fixes the issue of no dopamine. Also, kind of makes you calm, able to concentrate more, and maybe just sit still in a place for people who have like whole ADHD. The H in ADD, ADHD is hyperactivity. Some people also struggle with from like just
Yeah.
like having to move their leg to actually getting um actual muscle issues if they don't like move or something like that. Like I don't know how to call it right now. Where like just like you're get like cramps and stuff like that. Something like a seizure or something like that. But
Yeah.
something
I guess
between
cramps.
a seizure and cramps.
Yeah. Almost like spasms. I think that's the word.
Maybe, but yeah, it helps. Also, fun fact: some type of medication, which for example I take and you take, medicinate, also helps to stay awake. You can't sleep with that stuff. but
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, spotlight back to you.
yeah. So, coming on from my working career, just a little side note about my experience with cars. So, one of my hobbies many years ago was racing. So, I was a racing driver. I don't know how professional you could say it was, but I started out doing go-kart racing. I did that for 4 years, and I was racing on some of the circuits and in some of the series that current Formula One drivers are now. That's my mini claim to fame. Um, yeah, did that for 4 years. Pretty successful in that. Many wins, many trophies, a lot of clutter in the form of trophies. Um, Decided to do something different, and I got into British stock car racing. Now that is a purpose-built car, single-seater car, based on the old like 80s Ford running gear, so like the engine gearbox from cars from the 80s. Yeah, and the idea of those is it's limited contact. So you're not allowed to go smash each other up, but you're allowed to use force to get past each other. It can be pretty brutal at times. Probably the reason for most of my body pain, but hey, it was my choice. Yeah, did that for 7 years. So in total, 11 years worth of racing. Definitely enjoyed it. It was very good. Very expensive though, I will say. Um, Sold everything end of last year and decided to buy my own place, move out of the parents, which I am in now. I'm very comfy on my couch. It's lovely. That's been a big, big change, I must say. It's a big thing to adapt to, but it's nice. It is nice. Fly the nest, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility though. Being an adult is hard.
Yes.
Have to do my own dishes. Can you believe it?
Oh my God. They just magically disappear and get cleaned.
I know, and the refrigerator, it doesn't fill itself up.
Oh,
Crazy. But yeah, that's just a brief thing about my life. Not really overly interesting, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Now, I think we should move on to something a little more interesting. You did the first of Wustria. I'm going to talk about the second of Wustria, or Adventures of Wustria. Because the second one was better than the first one, definitely. So, obviously, it was great to see all my friends again. It's always a good plus. Met some new friends, some VRChat friends. That was really nice. We had a good time. Actually met up with one of them and his girlfriend last week in London because they were over visiting family. Yeah, that was really nice. We went to Chinatown, got some lovely Peking duck. And then we went over to Camden Market. Now, if anybody visits the UK, I would recommend Camden Market. It is so good. You got a diverse range of street food. Oh my God, Polish hot dog. It is so good. There's one stand there, you can buy a 1 meter long Polish hot dog, a whole meter. I've never bought it because I can never take on that much of a sausage, but there's also alternative fashion. Shut up. You got craft items. It is such a vibe. It is a great place, honestly. I would recommend it. Anyway, I'm going to sidetrack. Austria number 2 for us and for the con. It was their second ever con. That was my first time suiting my partial. That arrived a few weeks before Austria. I was excited for that. Now, one thing I will say about suiting is the confidence boost I got. Crazy. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I could talk to anybody,
yes.
and anybody would talk to me as well. It was like almost like a mutual connection with other suitors. And I'm not saying if you're not in suit, you can't connect. because you can, obviously. But I just found it so much easier when in suit. Uh, the other thing, I tried new clothing styles because I was in suit. Things I would never do out of suit. Like I usually wear like quite slim clothing, but I was wearing tech pants, baggy shirts, tank tops. I've never worn a tank top in my life. And even more of a confidence boost was I was getting compliments on my physique. Now I've been working on that for a few years, on and off, and I didn't think I was getting anywhere, but they were giving me compliments on it. I was like, what? It's working. And now I want to keep going. Yeah. I just, yeah, being in suit, crazy, crazy confidence boost for me. Um, it is hard to see out of though. You wore it for about an hour.
Yes.
What is your take on it?
Oh my god. Like, also pretty much first time wearing a fursuit hat, and it was wild. Like, I could still see moderate. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of also used to it already from, for example, Quest just like having minimal FOV. Um, there's still nothing compared to a VR headset or something like that. But yeah. Um, Also we were going into like this one special room party, which was wild to say the least. There was some silicon statues just all over the room. One hang, one just hanging on a window. We're
The
just
silicon
going
statue.
outside. We're going outside talking to people, and I'm like, what's this next to me? And I just see this thing hanging on the window, and I'm like, what? And I just like looked around suddenly, like we were on a balcony outside, and like looked into the room, just what's up in there, and I've noticed around like 20 or 30 more of them, and it was like a big, I should say, horse in on my way to the balcony. I stumbled across something, like literally almost stumbled, and now I know what. And it was just wild. It's like I I didn't see any of those because it was just couldn't because like first it was just plucking everything up, but when I noticed it, oh my god, that was a wild room party. Like no, it was nobody was like actually doing stuff. It was still relatively safe for work, I guess, from what they were doing, but what they were watching on the screen and like all these silicon statues.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna talk about that. Let's say it like that. But still nice to wear the suit, like not suit, but had. We also took a picture with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, got a few pictures of you.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
was my
remember
experience
you
with your head. I was in your head.
living in my head rent free. So yeah, your experience were in the head. Overall, good. Would you get one?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
We're like already working on it. Currently
Oh,
searching for what head format we use. And yeah, probably
nice.
gonna start work soon. Maybe with much luck, we're gonna get it done to a Worcester number 3. And it's gonna
Ooh,
be even wilder Worcester. Maybe get its own whole podcast episode. And yeah, it's gonna be a thing.
nice. Look forward to seeing that, definitely. But, I'm already in a rabbit hole. I want another head.
No,
I
Lou.
say another head. I want a full suit.
No, Lou. You're gonna just get a heat stroke, man.
No, but I want one. I want to be fluffy.
Oh my god. Blue heat
Yeah,
strokes.
fine. Just drinking enough water slash alcohol.
I
It's
swear,
fine.
I'm gonna have to get a shovel or something like that and just shovel him into I don't know, shovel him into a bag and just take him back to our room because he just died of heat stroke.
I'm surprised you didn't do that last time, to be honest.
Well, not yet, yeah. It's because I didn't have a shovel that time.
Oh, of course. That's why. I'm gonna bring one next time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, wish number two, pretty similar to wish one, to be fair, minus the trash can incident, of course. I behaved this time for the most part.
Hmm.
Yeah, plenty of panels, dealers then, always great. Much the same as last year or any other con, to be honest, but still a great vibe. Amazing vibe. Just as good as the last one. And not forgetting, we were involved in a little vlog by a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
It was also fun to be a part of. Enjoy that. Roaming around between the hotels and the city, shooting little bits. Yeah, first vlog I've ever been a part of, to be honest.
Yes. I was actually happy to record the vlog with like my old cameras, which was a kind of mistake. I should have used my phone camera because that was like way better. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put either the channel or the video of said friend into description, so could visit that too and actually see like the con because we went into most of the con, just recorded that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good way to see the con. Have a little look at that video, make sure to check it out. And speaking of filming, do you remember the bathtub scene? How we're all trying to get the lighting right?
Oh my god, yes. That's a wild photo.
One person standing on the bathtub, one on the counter, one hanging around the door.
Yes, that is a wild photo. Might cut out like the faces and just put the photo into the video, might not.
Oh, you should. Oh, what was that trend many years ago? The At the Harlem Shake over it, where everybody would stay still. What was the name of that trend?
I don't know anymore, but yeah, it's like just the music
It
playing, it's just the
reminds
camera
me
like
of
going
that.
through, and like everybody tries to stay still. Like hundreds of people, like I don't know, schools or hospitals, just like all staying perfectly still. I remember that trend. That was a good trend, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that picture reminds me of.
Yes. So yeah, bonfire thoughts. We were like at the bonfire thoughts panel, and it was like one of the most emotional things I've ever been to. It's like um the one who ran the panel. I believe his name is Saishin or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like a deer talking about his life. It's like also a musician, plays like flute and just play little flute stuff. While he was talking about his life, which was really really interesting, and also the story of his persona. It's really emotional. People have actually cried, and there I was really close to. It's just like you walked out of that thing, and it's just like you just were like, "Whoa!" Just what did I just experience? But in a good way. It was relieving a little bit. It's like one dude absolutely
Yeah.
cried, and then they hugged him, and I comforted him. It was so sweet. But yeah, I did that too, and kind of got me to try to concentrate more on panels next year, and thus absolutely destroying ourselves with alcohol. trying to fix ourselves the whole morning with showers and food and laying in bed and trying to rest and ibuprofens. That was wild. It's just like we had huge hangover in the morning, but in the evening would drink even more than the day before. Especially you,
Life of a con.
Mr.
I didn't drink that
Alcoholic.
much.
Dude, you drank a lot. Probably you think you didn't drank a lot, because you don't remember. But yeah,
No.
that
I could tell by the empty bottles I did drink a lot.
that
I was
yeah.
just excited, okay?
But yeah, like we said, we did like recording stuff like that too. I helped out, like I said, our friend with the recordings, which was also really much like the first time just doing like this vlog recording stuff. And yeah, was a wild thing. There's like not much to say about that. It's just like more like just go to his channel and watch. There was a lot of post fit trying to fix it in post involved, but yeah, it was still funny. It was really funny, like all the parties and stuff like that, and we were actually cool with each other. It wasn't just like such a, I would say, shit show like last year with like my ex and stuff like that, all the tension and stuff like that. We had just fun this time, which was really nice.
Yeah. Great time. Great time. Can't wait for next year.
Yes, new venue, new hotel.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the main most busiest street in Vienna. Like people who went outside, like outside the doors of the hotel to just either cool off or smoke, they got yelled at and sometimes even stuff thrown at them from the street. Just, wow, this year less than last year, but still it happened, which was just wild. It's just wild.
Yeah. Not a great time that bit, but you can ignore that bit.
Yes,
The rest of it was great.
definitely.
And that's about all I've got to cover for Austria number two.
Yes. It's like we can't say much because it was again mostly drinking and like doing these vlogs and having this one beautiful panel, and yeah, just like this time actually being able to fully enjoy it. But one of the reasons I also been teasing it so much is because it's still so huge. We got to see like more panels this time, like I said, because we had more of a time planning, and we were like more people in our group. It was easier to find new people to talk to, make friends, and actually fully have fun. And also like just being able to work on social anxiety and stuff like that, and social awkwardness a little bit more. 'Cause that also was a big step. Like the first con still was the biggest thing because it just switched the whole lever, but this con just pushed the level a little more. And it's just really nice.
Definitely. I will agree.
It's still such a huge thing in our life. Like I said, say we can't like say too much of like what happened on the con because it didn't really happen too much, but it's just like the meaning of it, the meaning of those very few things we got to cover in this episode, for example, it's just really big. And I just can't get over
Yeah.
how it's just like this safe space, and like the people there and the experience you get from cons, and how big of an influence that can be on your life even after the con. It isn't just over after like you've been there and you've got to experience that thing. It's like kind of like, hey, I want to be even more part of it. For example, next year I want to work on a fursuit hat, want to engage more and stuff that happens just around me, like or fur walks like I've been attending yesterday, which also was great, or just like meetups and stuff like that. That also happens in the area more than you might think, and just like getting more engaged with that, for example, and just being more free.
Yeah, definitely. All great tools, like we mentioned in the last episode, is definitely a tool for your social skills. But wait,
Wait.
we forgot about a panel.
What panel?
Certain content creator came to see us from the US.
Right. Ida Delata. Yes, Peter came. YouTuber.
Yeah, so he came down and basically talked us through content creation, how his journey went, how he started, how it's going, and how he kind of what is it? How he puts his stuff together, I guess.
Yes, which helped a lot,
So that
even for
was
me.
that was definitely interesting. That was eye-opening into the world of content creation. Oh, I'm not really into the content creation, but obviously you are. So did you take anything away from it that was valuable?
Yes, for example, I've stopped watching analytics because he also was like, yo, it's bad. It's like kind of opened my eyes to it too. Because analytics is just, in some aspects, good, but in many more aspects, bad because, like, if a video doesn't get the desired views and stuff like that, or if one video, for example, one video is not doing as well as the last one, just I don't know, it demotivates and stuff like that. It rarely motivates you, and it doesn't really say about much about the quality of the content. And also like different types of content, different platforms. For example, he was covering YouTube mainly, and it's like how to handle your content there, but it also like helped me with doing content, for example, on TikTok. And yeah, just like many things I've implied now automatically. I've like applying it every day automatically. Like I've applied after the con, so I can't like pinpoint what actually I got from beta, but I can definitely say I've learned a few things. Yes, it was a good thing.
Yeah, it was nice for him to come over and share his time and his experience with us. I mean, I definitely learned a lot.
Yes.
It was a good panel, sure.
So yeah, we got that topic closed now too, and with that we have both of our lives through, which is just the beginning, especially for this podcast. We're now gonna cover general topics, maybe sort of interview some people, talk about maybe their lives, their content creation career, and general stuff. Maybe talk about some hot topics and furry fandom, just generally. That might be more interesting too, and especially easier to talk through, because it's quite difficult sometimes to just like talk about yourself all the time. Because
Yeah,
just like for example, what happened in your life is just like such a huge thing, and always searching like what to say, and at the same time what's important, what's not. And it's just especially with ADD, that's also a thing. Like people with ADD like to branch off a lot. Like you have like this one straight line theoretically that it just goes up from like topic A, like beginning topic A, ending topic A, and then like topic B, beginning topic B, and like end topic B. But with like ADT people, it's sometimes it's like you just have like point A to point A, and it's like from point A you're like midway through, and you suddenly go to point C, and then from C to B, and you go back all the way to A, and then again to B, and then suddenly you end up at D and just have to somehow get back and stuff like that, and then you lose your point. That happens a lot too. We really have to concentrate on not doing it. Make like people who listen to this actually know what's happening and know where we're at in the timeline. So yeah, I still hope anyone who's listening to this has enjoyed it. Maybe learn something from it with like the ADD part. Maybe learn something from like on themselves. And I'll see you next episode on Furrodivergent-Podcast. Bye bye.
Bye.